Hey Chico people, I wanted to hop in here before the show with an announcement that tickets to our first ever live audience recording of the next 4 episodes at the Chico Women's Club are on sale now. The live event will be on September 12th and doors open at 6 p.m. I'll be interviewing 4 local creatives and sharing the musical talents of past podcast guests all in one fun night to celebrate 1 year of this podcast project that highlights all the amazingness that Chico has to offer. You can get your ticket at the link in the show notes. And now, on with the show.
You only call me when you're lonely, darling, when you're wanting something to change. You only call me when you're lonely, darling, when you want things to go your
Welcome to the Chico Creates podcast, where we interview local artists, musicians, and makers from here in Chico, California. I am your host, Kirsten Barsotti, and with me today are the women of Golden Hour Tattoo. Golden Hour Tattoo is a woman-owned studio dedicated to creating beautiful art in a safe, inclusive space for everybody. And so with me today is Kirsten Barsotti. Say hi.
Hi.
Monica Painter.
Hello.
And Kaylen Parcell. Awesome. I'm stoked to have you all here.
Stoked to be here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're happy to be here.
Sweet. So tell us a little bit about yourselves beyond the bio so we can, go ahead and just go in order. This is audio, so no one else knows what the order is, but let's just start with Kirsten.
What do you want to know?
Beyond, you could tell us about your relationship with Chico, how you got into tattooing. We can go all over the place.
I got into tattooing. I've always wanted to tattoo, but I never felt like I could. And then I went to Chico State and I got a degree in graphic design. And I worked in the field for about 6 years. And then when COVID happened, that's when I was like, I want to do something different, And yeah. And so I worked on my portfolio for about a year and then went looking and asking people who tattoo for their advice and got an apprenticeship, and here I am.
Awesome. Sweet. How about you, Monica?
I'm from the Bay Area. I started tattooing out there in 2006.
Mm-hmm.
I feel old. Yeah, I did a few apprenticeships out there. Feels so long ago. This is really hard to remember. Yours is short.
Well, mine is more like it happened recently.
Yeah, it's kind of unfair. I'm ancient history back in 2006. How did I get to Chico? My husband lives out here, and so I moved here during COVID and opened Golden Hour. I think it's been 2 years now. We were trying to figure it out the other day.
A little over 2 years, right?
A little over 2 years ago.
Yeah. Awesome. Cool.
Hello.
Don't be acting shy now.
So I moved to Chico 12 years ago. I was kind of hopping all over the country. I was down in Mexico for a few months, and my brother lived up here, and he was like, girl, get your life together. So I moseyed on up here. I met my husband at a house party a month later, and the rest is history.
Amazing.
So we have 2 kids. I have 2 small kids. One's 3, one's about to be 9.
Oh, wow.
I kind of have more of a rare, I guess, intro into tattooing. It's a little less common. So I've always been an artist. I've always made art. Maybe 6 or 7 years ago, I made an Instagram just for my artwork, and it kind of caught the eye of some local tattooers here in town.
Mm-hmm.
I have been a licensed esthetician for 7 years. So I went to school for the skin, and I slowly got into permanent makeup.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really just a natural progression of learning about the skin, getting into permanent makeup, and then picking up a tattoo machine and combining my passion of art and the skin, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
When I was doing esthetician work, I'd always come home and paint and draw. And one of the other local shops here in town they reached out to me and said they had opening for a tattooer. And at the time, I was 8.5 months pregnant and hadn't actually used a tattoo machine. And they were like, well, give it a go. We'll see if you got it, and apparently I had it. So here we are.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yep.
So cool. So yeah, how long have each of you lived in Chico? And I think what's keeping you here is people and your business, of course, but I guess what brought you here?
I have been here basically my whole life. I grew up in Paradise and moved here a few years before the fire in Paradise. And so I've just been in Chico ever since. What was the other question?
Just what's keeping you here?
Family.
Which, by the way, Kirsten is my sister-in-law.
Yes. And I really love where I work right now, and I can't I can't see myself finding anywhere that I feel as comfortable in at the moment. That could change in the future, but I really like where I am right now.
Yeah, that is gold. If you can enjoy where you're working.
I honestly love it so much.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, I think just the environment we've created is super comfortable, and I know I'm comfortable there right now too, and it feels good. I like the work we're doing, and life changes, and I don't know, the world feels pretty crazy right now, so it's kind of like a nice little safe haven that we have there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I, having been to the studio, I have to say the vibe there is so different from any other tattoo shop. It is a studio. It feels like a salon in there, like a luxury experience versus, I do love the tattoo shop vibe also, but it's different.
It's like a salon, but paintings.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. We have plants, we have paintings. We're not sterile, so I don't want to give that.
Yeah. No,
vibe.
it's definitely a really comfortable space.
There's no one coming up and giving you weird vibes and just watching over somebody's shoulder.
Yeah.
Except for me.
Unless no, occasionally I'll go up, but I'll be like, is it okay if I take a look? It's not just
I don't think you
weirdos.
could be creepy if you try.
Yeah. Definitely not. Do you guys have a favorite spot to hang out outside of the studio?
My house.
Yep.
Artists, they're homebodies.
Oh my God, they all are. This is everyone's answer.
Yeah.
At home.
Or nature.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or
the park.
nature. Yeah. Anywhere in the trees.
Yeah.
Anywhere to get fresh air. Anywhere to get dirt in my toes. Sniff up some moss. Do something crazy.
I think home or with my family. That's the only places that I go.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not.
I have a lot of clients who ask me, from out of town, if they're staying the night or something. They're like, what do you have? Do you have any recommendations on where to go? And I'm like, no, I go to work and then I go home.
Cafe next door.
I can't even think of things. Do you want to go roller skating? I don't know.
I used to say the coin op. I loved the coin op. So that's kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
It's gone
Yeah.
I know.
Gravy fries.
Those gravy fries. Oh my goodness.
Go to B Street.
Oh, there's. I don't want poutine. I just want.
That is the gravy fries.
No, it has cheese curds on it. I don't want your curds.
God, that's the best part.
Oh man.
Are we having our first fight?
We are.
Oh man. So it sounds like everyone here was, a creative person growing up, an artist before becoming a tattoo artist. What was your background in art? Who wants to go first?
We're all looking at Monica.
Go, Monica.
Me, I'm not professionally or classically trained. I've always been a kid that's done art, and I was going to go to art school. I found out that that wasn't for me. I hate school, so I don't know why that would be any different. And people were like, oh, there's someone looking for an apprentice. And so I just went and did that and kind of went from there. But yeah, I don't know. I just picked stuff up along the way and just self-taught.
Yeah. Well, and that brings up a really interesting question. Not a lot of people understand like the structure of what it, like how you become a tattoo artist. So I'd love for you guys to kind of explain that weird road.
It's different for everyone.
I think each of us have a different story.
Yeah, and it's definitely changing now. Like there's so many people teaching themselves how to tattoo, which is super, super cool. Yeah, I don't know. Just like that's such a, I guess, you know, the way I would go about it is getting a portfolio together with all of your pieces, going to a shop where you love the work that they do, and presenting your portfolio and looking for an apprenticeship, and you're going to get a lot of no's. You're going to get people turning you down, and that's okay. Maybe those people aren't for you, and just keep looking for your spot and get tattooed. I mean, a lot of people they like hit you up on Instagram for an apprenticeship. They're not tattooed, and like I've never seen this person in person before, so why would I don't know. That's so weird. There's like a disconnect there. Like come into the shop, say hi, get tattooed. Show me your artwork. And I don't know where I was going on that tangent. But
I think a lot of people too think that it's hard, but like you have to put the work into it.
Everything is hard.
If it's something that you want, like people who go to school, they put the work into going to school. Like I went to school. I had a job in my career field, but I knew that I wanted to tattoo, so I really like worked on putting together a portfolio and like doing what I felt like was all the right steps. And then I had an apprenticeship. Granted, not everyone has the opportunity to get apprenticeships, or like every apprenticeship is different, but like I put in the work because that's what I wanted, and I knew that this is what I wanted to do for the rest of my life, quote unquote, you know.
And anything worth having is gonna take work, you know, and that's the thing is like if you genuinely are passionate about it, you don't even view it as work. It's just it's not hard work, it's just a lot of it, you know, but you're okay with doing a lot of work because it's something that you genuinely like give a shit about, you know. Like I don't know, for me, you know, even when I was an esthetician, I was super unhappy with the career. It felt more superficial than I wanted to align myself with. I feel like I'm much more of like a connection type person. I don't like things being surface level. Like people definitely know me as an open book. I will overshare literally every freaking thought. Don't play with me, okay? Don't leave that open for me. I will do it. But even still, I was, you know, working during the day, and then I was coming home and making art every single night. And then I would wake up in the morning and make art every single morning. And then I would go to work, come home, do the same thing over and over and over again until I started gaining some recognition. People, you know, I started getting more of a following on Instagram, and kind of the right people came into my space. And I do think I have more of like an uncommon like intro into the tattoo industry. Like I was invited in. I didn't necessarily like actively seek it out, but I feel like I've always known I was going to be an artist, always. I remember making like this pamphlet in the 2nd grade, and it was like, what's your favorite color? Who's your favorite person? What do you want to be when you grow up? And I already knew I wanted to be an artist at that age. You know, it was never a question of like what or how, it was just when. Like, I'll get there, you know? So I think it's more so just like aligning yourself with the right actions to get you where you want to be. And it's not going to be, it's going to be worth it. It's going to be hard work, but it'll totally freaking be worth it, especially if it's like what your soul desires. Like, what is your freaking soul asking you to do every day? Like, and that's the cool thing with tattooing is I really do feel like it's soul alignment for all three of us. You know, I genuinely feel like we are of service to our community. People walk in with an idea and we are simply the conduits to get their thoughts onto their skin. And then they leave feeling more like themselves, how they visualize themselves, you know? And I think that's the biggest gift of our career. And I think that makes all the work worth it, 110%.
That's what I was going to add is that, like, if you put in the work towards it, like, it's showing your passion for it. And then that passion is translating into being able to give your clients the best experience, the best quality that you can. And you keep working towards getting to the quality that you want to give your clients.
Yeah. Well, and that's something that's also really unique about tattoo work is like there's permanence and there's like your body being the gallery. You know, you're, you know, as someone who is tattooed, you are like showing the whole world your gallery wall, you know, and that's really unique. And that's like a lot of, I think it intimidates some artists, like the permanency and everything. So how do you like with learning and everything, how has that been as far as like getting over the intimidation, and what do you do with mistakes? Like everyone makes mistakes.
I think being an artist in general, you learn to have a certain level of adaptability.
Yeah.
Regardless of what your medium is, like you learn to like be okay with making mistakes. And especially with tattooing, you have to relinquish perfectionism.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah.
We're human beings. We're not printers.
Yep.
You know, if we can make it perfect, we would, but it's not realistic, right?
Yeah.
And I think like that's the biggest thing that I think artists just accumulate that sort of like brain muscle over time. Is being adaptable, learning how to like fix your mistakes off the fly, you know, like I'll never forget when I did that freaking nautical star a few months ago and I did like the shading on the wrong side and I was like, Kirsten, let's go outside. Come here. And her and I sat there and brainstormed on how to adapt to the situation, you know, and I think like that's the cool thing about our careers. There's so many elements of the career that translates into just like life in general, you know, is getting that adaptability. But I think as far as like getting over like the permanence of altering someone, I don't know about you guys. For me, it was never like a worry. To me, it was just like it's a different medium and a different canvas. And I trust myself as an artist to do what I need to do. Like
It's like learning a different medium for sure.
Yeah.
I
It's
never
a whole
feel
different
like
medium.
maybe like the first or second tattue that you do, you're like, ooh, like
Yeah.
kinda freak out a little bit, but yeah, you just kind of like,
50.
it's like riding a bike. I don't know.
You are your biggest critic too.
sure.
Yes.
And like there are other circumstances involving like being harsh on yourself too if you're in that environment. Which I was. But but then you kind of like compartmentalize. Like you have to be like, this is what they wanted, and you gave them the best that you could at the time. So like when I was learning, I had to like really step back and be like, this is the best that I could do at that time. It might not have necessarily been what I wanted it to be, but I've seen, it's so hard because I just want to be perfect from the start.
Everybody does.
I do too. Yeah.
And so seeing like what I felt like wasn't the best pieces that I was doing was really hard. And I just even remember Monica being like, you will get to that point. It's just experience. And even like last year compared to now, I'm like, okay, I know what I'm doing. Like I have even more of a solid concept of what I'm doing versus.
And it's so cool to look
then.
back on your pieces and be like,
I mean,
wow.
kind of.
Even a year
I
makes a
look back and
difference.
I'm like, oh my God, what was I doing?
Yeah, but you know, talking about mistakes and stuff, it's like at the time you did your best with your skill set, and you just have to continue to learn and grow, and then look back and be like,
Yeah, and
I've
hopefully your clients too understand that. You know, a lot of our clients are appointment only. So a lot of them really take the time to look at our work and they know what they're getting into. So my clients at the time saw the tattoos that I posted up until their appointment. So they know what they're getting into. Now that doesn't like mean that if you make a mistake and like
But they also love you and the
Yeah.
experience that you're giving, and like that is gonna last longer, you know, than anything. Is that
Yeah.
like you gave them this amazing experience with this tattoo, and they're gonna continue to see you as your art improves, and you know,
yeah.
Well, and
they look at it different than we do.
Yes,
totally.
exactly.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say is, you know, we're to parrot what you said a little minute ago, that we're our harshest critics. Like the work that you were posting when you were first coming, like, you know, into and out of your apprenticeship was great, and it just keeps getting better. You know, like I have your 4th tattoo right next to your like what 400th tattoo.
Yeah, and those both
And
look
it's really
awesome.
cool. Yeah, they're both really good.
I like Monica one time when I was feeling really like discouraged was just like, when tattoos heal, they just look like tattoos. And it's so true because it's
It
like,
is.
Yeah, looking at your
Oh.
arm, I'm like, I couldn't tell whether
Yeah.
that was someone's first tattoo or their 400th. Like,
Right.
They both
Yeah.
look great,
Yeah.
and they both have healed
Yeah.
so lovely. I don't know.
yeah. That it just looks like, I mean, I call myself a sticker book. So
Yeah.
I'm just collecting.
Yep. I cannot wait to get back into collecting. Having a baby kind of threw things for a minute, having to like carry a child around. When I got this one, it was around this time last year, and Hazel was like, what? What's
One and a,
8 months old? He was 8 months old around this
Yeah.
time last year?
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, that was a mistake to get a tattoo on your arm with an 8-month-old. I don't recommend it. Anyway, do you guys have any kind of studio rituals or routines when you like get to the shop, when you're prepping for an appointment?
Twerking.
I said Meg the Stallion.
I feel like Fridays are Megan the Stallion.
Yes, yes, yes. We have devoted days.
Nice.
It's a little bit of Chapel Roan these days. Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like we like have
Feel
good
the vibes out.
Yeah, and I also think like we have good like at home practices for ourselves. Like we tend to ground ourselves at home a lot, I think, and then coming into the shop, you know, there is kind of a ritual. I mean, like, so in the mornings when I wake up at my house, I open all the blinds, open all, you know, the curtains, and I call it waking up the house. We're waking up the house. We're getting the plants awake, all that. And so I feel like when I'm the first one at the shop and I'm opening up all the blinds and turning on all the
Waking up the
lights, I'm like
studio.
waking up the studio. Good morning, you know. I don't know. For me, I think that's kind of the ritual is like just turning on the lights, opening up the blinds, realizing where I'm at, what I'm doing for the day, you know, and like, all right, it's not about you. We're here to just make the person happy.
Yeah.
Or it's
Do your
nice
job.
when we're like all there in the morning, just seeing where we're all at for the
Yeah.
day,
Yeah.
and then meeting our clients instead of just
Yeah.
going right into tattooing.
We
Yeah.
all like share what we're doing normally, and it's fun.
We
It's
check
like-
in.
Trauma.
Yeah. We check in.
Yeah,
Check in.
exactly.
Yep.
That's nice. So another thing that I think is really unique about tattoo art is like that there is such a close relationship with the client. Like it's way different than other commission work where like you're told what to do, you go in your studio, you do a thing. No, you're like putting it on their bodies. You're with them for the duration of that
Exchange
tattoo.
of energy for sure.
Yeah. And I just imagine, you know, we all talk about how we're all homebodies as artists. Like that requires a lot of extra energy, I feel like. How do you guys manage that?
We both take a big inhale.
Yeah.
I feel bad because then I just like don't want to do anything with anyone else for the rest of the day. I'm pretty sure
shouldn't
that
feel
happened
bad.
yesterday to Kaylen. I texted her and I was like, "Hey, I'm just feeling really low energy because I just had like a long day and I was I was just socially drained. Plus being artists where you're like kind of already, reclusive.
Right. It just adds to there's a tendency towards introversion, I feel like, with artists, and yet you can't be.
Yeah.
Definitely an extroverted introvert.
Yeah,
Like,
same.
You
just
have to be
kinda
like
faking it all
on for
day.
them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
I don't know, but there are definitely like some draining situations.
Yeah.
You know, like where at the end of the day you kind of just stand there like, am I allowed to cuss?
Right.
Okay. Am I?
Yes.
No, look, I'm asking.
You may.
Okay, because I swear to you, sometimes we're just standing there like, what the fuck? Wow. What an
just
experience.
happened?
Yeah.
Right. But I feel like it's always also like a perfect opportunity to kind of like hold a mirror up to yourself, right? And just be like, what about this is actually getting to me right now?
Right.
But it's not even like the person per se. Like sometimes it's just like what's stuck to them. I don't even know how to explain it. Like you feel, and like we are all up in people's energetic aura all day.
They're coming to get tattooed because somebody passed away, because this has to do with a significant other. Like we are all up in their business and their aura, their everything.
Right.
Those ones are the rough ones. Yeah.
And we're human too. And
Yes.
sometimes we have like, there have been some days where I've just been like, hey, I'm just going to let you know I am feeling really low energy today.
Yeah.
If I'm like not being talkative, it's not you, it's just how I'm feeling. And I think sometimes it's good to be like honest about that.
Yeah.
But also sometimes you do, like sometimes I don't necessarily feel comfortable enough because it's like not a client that I really know, and I have to be like, okay, time to be on, time to be Kirsten.
To like, compartmentalize your own stuff that you have going on too, and be like, hey.
Yeah, exactly.
And I guess that's kind of what I meant earlier by like, it's not like getting into the shop and just reminding myself like it's not about you.
Yeah.
Because like for these people too, like they've waited months to come to their tattoo appointment. They couldn't sleep the night before because they were too excited. They don't know what the design is going to look like. So they're super excited and nervous and all the things. And like for us, it's just another day at work, you know? Yeah. So I think like humbling ourselves consistently and just being like, okay, yes, it's another day of work for you, but this is something this person has
really
anticipated
special for
and
this
like
person.
gotten excited about.
You
You
have
know?
to like remind yourself here and there, like, oh, this is like an important. I know I still get nervous when I go to get tattooed
Every time.
Yeah.
Hey,
Every
it's
time.
expensive. It's you
Yeah,
have to
permanent.
wait for it.
Yeah.
It's an investment in time and money and pain and
all the things. So,
You're in like a vulnerable
that too.
space too,
Yeah.
at stage when you're getting tattooed, because you can't like get up and move and
Yeah, you just gotta grin and bear it.
Yeah.
I guess on both sides of the of the tattoo machine.
If I get home feeling extra yucky though, that's when ritual comes in. That's when I'm like, okay, I need to like ground myself.
Clear
I need
it,
to do some yoga. I need to smudge myself. Like, or I'll like go home and like clean my house.
Yeah.
Like I will like deep clean my house to kind of just like decompress.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, all right, now I'm going to smudge my whole freaking house. I'm going to smudge myself, my front door, everything. And just even like setting the intention with yourself of like, I'm releasing this day.
Yeah.
Like I'm releasing what's left on me that's not mine and just moving on. Like
Sitting in my car and disassociating for 15
crying for a little bit.
Yeah.
Crying in the shower is my favorite personally.
I usually shower as soon as I get home, because like I just
Gotta wash it
I mean,
off.
not only is like you're around fluids and stuff like
Yeah,
that, but
yeah.
I don't know, I just want to get that energy off of me, like, and not take that home with me too.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
Like, see, I also have 2 young kids at home, so it's like I don't really have a like.
Yeah.
I have to show up. Like even like walking through the front door, I have to be like, okay, now it's mom mode. You know, now it's like shifting into this other version of yourself. Here we go. You know, so. I don't know. I don't really get to cry about it until after the kids go to bed.
Yeah.
Sometimes in front of them just to remind them I'm human a little
Right.
bit.
Yeah. Not a bad thing.
Make them feel bad.
Yep. Oh my God. Yep. Ugh.
What is the best part about being an artist in Chico?
Us. Being together, the trifecta, the Golden Girls. What can
Yeah,
I
I
say?
love like the space that we've created.
Yeah.
And it's so awesome that in such a small community we've been able to like build this and see that there are other like-minded people that like want to get tattooed by us and you know.
I love my clientele.
We do.
Yeah.
We do really love our
Yeah,
clients.
for
That's
sure.
the best part is the
Yeah.
clientele.
Yeah.
It's funny because you almost don't even remember the tattoos you do, but you remember the
Yeah.
people. You
Yeah.
remember your experience with them.
Sometimes it's the opposite when they come up to me
Yes.
and I'm like, I can't remember your
Yes.
face. Let me see your tattoo.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
now I remember.
And then it's like a download.
Yeah.
You like remember their
Yeah.
cousin's sister's name
Yeah.
and like the wedding that they went to.
Your greatest fear.
Yeah.
I think the one thing that I like wasn't anticipating loving about this career is being able to make connections with people, because I'm definitely more of an introvert, but I never thought that like one-on-one with somebody and like building that rapport with people would be like one of the best parts of the job.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, it's a huge part of the job.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Well, that's cool. Yeah. And you guys have people coming from all over the place to come get tattooed, right? Yeah.
It's such an honor when they travel, because it's such an
Yeah.
honor in general when they book with me, but like when they're coming from out of town, I'm like, wow, you know, there
Yeah.
are other people that you could have been tattooed by, but you picked me. Feels good.
Me like
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh man.
Awesome. Do you guys have any ongoing or upcoming projects that you want to share about? What's new for either the studio or you individually?
Now booking.
Yeah.
What is going? I feel like we're all like taking a lot of courses and stuff right now.
Oh, interesting.
Going into, I know Kirsten has some conventions coming up, but we're constantly continuing education, getting better, doing seminars. Yeah, I know we have a lot of that going on.
Cool.
I have my realism seminar this month. I'm so
Ooh.
excited. Going to Dallas and going to be there for a couple days learning from a really, really talented artist. So I'm pretty
Awesome.
excited. I've been thinking about it for a while.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. I also think like we don't really have a whole lot of time to like necessarily create for ourselves anymore. You know, like I think that's also kind of tough, is like our passion became our career. So a
Right,
lot of our
right.
creative energy goes into like making sure, like I said, like we're of service to the clientele.
Right.
I think we've all kind of discussed like needing creative outlets, or like, I don't know, I've told the girls like I need a different creative outlet. So I picked up like air dry clay.
Nice.
And made like a incense holder, you know,
Yep.
just like something to get my hands dirty or whatever. But I will admit, like sitting down to draw for myself or paint for myself or whatever sometimes feels more difficult since I've started
interesting.
tattooing. But not that it's a bad thing. I mean, I feel like, okay, bear with me here. But like, I mean, have you guys have heard of Dharma, right? Like,
Yes.
have you? Okay. So like, you know, your life's purpose, but it's like, you were given a gift, but it's meant to be of service to others, you know? And so I do feel like I'm living out my Dharma. I do feel like I'm living out my purpose of being of service to others. And if that, you know, means that I have to adapt to a different creative outlet, I'm totally freaking fine with that.
Yeah.
I can roll with that.
Yeah. Yeah. So, you know, given that you're all like living the dream, if you weren't tattooing, what creative project would you want to take on?
If we
Murals.
weren't.
Ooh, I love that.
I would
yeah.
want
So
to
I
if
was
you
just
weren't
thinking about you
tattooing,
laying on a beach,
Being
naked,
fed grapes.
being fed grapes.
Topless on a beach, being fed grapes.
that's the dream.
It's your life's purpose.
Just making a beautiful human, dropping them into my mouth. I would want to do murals.
Yeah.
Before I started tattooing, there were a few, like Genkai reached out to me for a mural, and then there was another place, it was like the building that's right by the Dutch Brothers. They reached out to me for a mural, and then tattooing started rolling, and I didn't really have like the time.
Yeah.
And I was also 8.5 months pregnant.
Right. Not
In
about to get up on a
August.
ladder in the middle of summer.
Yeah, no thanks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez, I don't know. I'm just like an overall creative person, and like, yeah, things just get thrown at you, and you're like, I think I could do that.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I don't know, why not? Why not me? Why couldn't I do that? I'll figure it out. Fake it till you make it.
Yep.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I think you found your career.
Yeah.
Switch careers.
I was previously an apparel designer, and then I knew that I wanted to do freelance art or like be my own boss. So I worked on that after like my full-time job the day, I work on it full-time afterwards.
Right.
And so I was just constantly making art, and now I feel like this is the type of art that I want to create, so this is what I'm doing.
Well, yeah, even before like becoming a tattoo artist was like felt like a reality to you, I feel like you were already kind of playing in that space.
Exactly. So
you were making paintings for a really long time.
I have like over
awesome.
250 paintings like that I had to do during my apprenticeship, but
even
then
before you
previously,
got
before,
which is super commendable, and you didn't just like pick up a machine off of Amazon and be like doing it out of your bedroom or something.
I don't
You were
want to
painting.
sound pretentious, but I didn't touch a machine until I started.
I don't think that's pretentious. I think you're just
Honorable.
a badass.
I'm weird, and I am not a rule breaker. And so in my head, I was like, oh no, I don't want to seem unfavorable to a potential mentor. But I don't know. If I had known about stick and poke, though, I'd probably have stick and poke tattoos. I was so sheltered growing up. But yeah, I don't know. I like painting. I'm going to make a banner for the convention that I'm going to.
Oh,
out of
awesome.
Felt and fringe.
Cool.
So I'm excited for that.
That'll be fun.
But
Awesome. Cool. Where can people find you online? Where can people find the shop? I know they got to book an appointment.
Yes, like we're Golden Hour Chico on Instagram, chicotattoos.com, and I'm Lady Cobra on Instagram.
Cool.
I'm babyghoul.tattoo on Instagram. And you can mostly find me there. I have a TikTok, but I don't really use it, but you can follow me on there if you want.
I am Kaylen Makes Tattoos on Instagram. Super original. And then my website is just my name, KaylenParcell.com. And then, of course, the Golden Hour website.
Awesome. Yeah. And are any of you open for booking at this time?
Yes.
All of you. Yes, please book with me right now.
Summers are slow, okay?
It's hot as shit outside. Like,
Well, and everyone wants to go swimming.
Okay.
You're not
Yes,
supposed to swim
I will
if you have a
say,
tattoo.
I think summer's the best time
It's
to
for
get
goth girl
tattooed.
season.
No, it's the best time to get tattooed by people, like tattoo artists that are normally like super booked because they're
That's
probably
true.
slow. So if you want to get in with somebody that you normally can't get in, chances are you can
Summer's
in
a good
summer.
time.
You can just take 2 weeks to not go swimming. It's
Yeah.
not that hard.
It's not, no.
Summers are lasting longer and longer now.
It's true.
You
Yep,
have
there will be
time.
time to swim.
Plus, I'm a vampire and I don't like to go outside, so summer's the best time for me.
with your cat.
Yeah.
Stay home in the air conditioning.
Yeah, that's why I'm wearing pants today, because I'm like, it was cold
And
in
a flannel.
It was cold in the apartment.
I'm like sweating. I'm like, are you dying right now?
Awesome. Well, thank you all so much for being here, sharing
Thanks
your
for having
stories.
us.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you.
Yeah. And we will see you around town.
You only call me when you're lonely, darling, when you're wanting something to change. You only call me when you're lonely, darling, when you wanted things to go your way.
I wanted to give a huge shout out and thank you to Dara at Durham House Creative Company for jumping in to help with the Chico Creates podcast, social media, and marketing presence.
Many of you may know Dara from her past work with the Artistry, Avenue 9 Gallery, Chiva, and/or the Chico Art Center. I look forward to our collaboration. If you're looking for someone to help with your social media, marketing, or branding, give her a call at 530-570-3045. If you love what we're doing with the show, please consider becoming a supporter for as little as $5 a month. And if nothing else, subscribing and leaving us a review on your favorite podcast player is always very much appreciated and will help other people find us and the stories we share. You can find Chico Creates on Instagram at chico.creates. Thank you for listening and being part of our community.